Hello, and thank you for stopping by. Today I'm going to show you how I get this no-start Troy Bilt lawnmower running. This was dropped off this morning, and the complaint is, as you can see, it won't start. I was told this machine is fairly new, and it doesn't look like it's that beat up. The string on it, the recoil, did break, and they attached this on here, and it looks like this could be tightened up a little bit to give it a little more spin. It does have overhead valves. That could be an issue. Water in the gas could be an issue. And also, something that's often overlooked, this mower hits something hard. It could be anything, a stump, a root, a brick. What'll happen, not to do internal damage, there's a flywheel key that'll shear. Now looking at this blade, it doesn't look like it's bent, so we should be okay with that. That's something we'll look at last if all else fails. And when you tip these mowers over, tip them over to the back or to the opposite side of where the carburetor is. Now what I'm going to do first, let's see what we have here. I'm going to remove this air cleaner. Okay, this was used. You can see this was neglected. This was never changed. All right. And I'm going to spray some straight gas in here to see if this will kick over. If it doesn't kick over, that'll put me on one path. If it does kick over, then I know I have a carburetor issue. And if it's a mower that you picked up, always check the oil. The oil in here is fairly clean. It is a little on the low side, but for what we're doing right now, it's fine. I just have some gas in the spray bottle. If you have carburetor cleaner, you could use that, or if you have starting fluid, you could use that. I prefer to use the straight gas. You have to open up this choke so you can get the gas in. This has an automatic choke, so I'm going to just pry it open a little bit, shoot a little gas in there, and she should kick over. Almost. Let's give it one more try. I may have sprayed too much gas in there. I'm not sure. Okay. I'm going to wait a couple seconds, give this a chance, and then I'm going to try it one more time. If that doesn't work, I'm going to remove this plug and check to see if we have spark. Well, that takes care of that. Before we go any further, this is going to have to be taken care of. To get to the recoil, this one has 3 bolts on top that have to come out. I'm going to take this out, see what we have under here, then we'll give it a few more pulls to see if we have spark. Before I take everything apart, I'm going to give it one more try to see if I could get this to kick over. I have straight gas in here. Opening up the choke so I can spray it in. A couple squirts. And this time, I'm going to be using this drill. I'm not advising you to do this. This could be dangerous. You could get hurt doing this. If you decide to do this, it's at your own risk. Nothing. Now, if this was getting spark, there had a little bit of gas I sprayed in there, and that's fresh gas, this should have kicked over. So we know, at the very least, we're not getting spark. Or it could be the valves, could be several issues, but we're going to check the spark first. To check the spark, you would disconnect the spark plug. You could pull the spark plug out, hold it against the metal, and see if you're getting any spark. If you have one of these tools, I'll put a link for this down below. You attach this to the spark plug, put this into the spark wire. When you take this spark plug wire off, don't go yanking it and breaking it apart. Twist it a little bit. You can usually get it off by hand unless it's on there a while. It might be stuck on there, rusted on there. If you do this work often, one of these tools is very helpful, not only for the spark plug wire, but for your fuel lines when you have to pull them off. You want to twist and pull. There you go. And if you don't have one of these and you can't get it off that way, just get a screwdriver in there and gently pry it. Okay, it doesn't look like there's any rust in there. So I have the tool, so I'm going to use this. Now it's pretty sunny out here. I don't know if I get to see anything. I might have to do this in the shade. Get this on there good. Okay. Let's try it again, see what happens. I don't know if the camera picked it up, but we do have spark. So I'm going to remove this valve cover, see what the valves look like, and we'll proceed from there. Oh, by the way, when you're spinning that engine over, you have to make sure the bail is tied. To get this valve cover off, there's 3 screws that require a 5/16 socket. Now, this looks like somebody might have been in here before, just the way this gasket came off and everything. And I don't have the model number on here. The older models, they used to have the model number right on the valve cover. Some of these newer ones have a paper tag and I can't find it. I'm not sure what the specs should be on here. In my haste, I didn't see this tag. Facing the mower on your right hand side, if you scan that with your phone, you'll be able to get the information that you need. On this exhaust valve, yeah, man. On this exhaust valve, 0.005 fits in here, but it's very snug. Very snug. And on the intake, 0.005, that's the way it should fit. This is 0.006. It's actually 0.006 on this intake valve. Usually the exhaust valve has a wider gap. Now, I don't know if it's my eye or not, but this spring in here, it just doesn't look right. I don't know if somebody pulled this valve out and bent that spring. Can't see the other ones to compare it to. Right in here, if you can see what I'm talking about, that spring just doesn't look right. I'm going to go inside, get online, and see if I can find what the specs on this should be. If I can find the specs, I'm going to adjust it, or they may be as it should be, which I don't believe is right. Not the way these two are. I think they should be reversed. But that said, let me get that information and I'll be back. Off camera, I took care of that share pin. And on the valves, this exhaust valve was within specs from what I could find online. I opened up this exhaust valve a little over 1 thousandths more than what it was, and we had some positive results. Let me show you. Sprayed some gas into the carburetor, and now we'll give it a spin. Okay, so she's kicking over. My next step now is to take this carburetor apart, clean this carburetor out, and that should remedy this whole situation. The compression is low on this unit though, so I don't know how strong it's going to be in thick grass, but nothing I can really do about that right now. So let me get this carburetor off, and we'll see if we can keep it running. I'm going to dump the gas out of the tank, clean the carburetor, and give it another go. Well, that's a wrap. We got it running, and it's running a lot better than I thought it would going through that thick grass. This video was running a little long, so I separated it into 3 parts. The next video I upload will be how I used a compression tester to do a leak down test. And the next video after that, I'll show you how I remove the flywheel key or the shear pin. If you have any questions or comments, post them down below. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like. It does help. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe. Hit that Joe Z icon. And not to miss my new videos as I upload them, ring that bell. Until next time, stay safe.